Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I has no chill, I'm who I are.
Welcome back to TDG. I'm Sean, and this is Indre Ignite. I got...
Start over. Ignite.
Yeah. Am I doing like the full name?
Ignite.
Indre Ignite.
But you don't have to say it like that, but don't say Ignite.
Got it. My special guest for tonight, she's here to help me review some videos that I pulled up. She doesn't know much about the manosphere or red pill or you know anything about simps, like the word simp?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know anything about, feminism? We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. So you know some terms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll educate you a little bit here today.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe I'll educate you.
Maybe. But yeah, we're bringing in a female perspective today because we're going to see what she thinks about this stuff and see where she lands. Another term. You know what capping means?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think it means?
I've heard.
You gotta come a
I've
little bit closer.
heard capping before.
Because you're like, oh,
I am far away.
yeah. So what do you think it means?
Like bluffing.
Basically, like no lying.
Yeah.
So when we're reviewing these videos, no capping.
I got you.
Okay?
No lying. Exactly.
If you want to cap, they're gonna call it out in the comments.
Also, like, let's just like get this out at first.
Yeah.
I'm from Europe. Like, my English is not my
What?
first language.
You're from Europe? Why don't you tell them where you're from?
Lithuania, guys.
Okay. All right. So she's from Lithuania.
Yeah.
She's also into fitness. She's gonna be starting her own channel here in a bit. She does have an Instagram that it'll probably be
Oh man, I should have.
somewhere here or somewhere there or over there. I don't know. Whoop, that looked a little weird.
Right here.
There you go. So I'll pop that up on the screen so you guys can follow her. When we get that YouTube channel started as well, make sure you guys follow her as well. We want to get her page popping. She's going to be helping you guys, drop some pounds and get in shape because getting in shape is important, right?
Into shape and just being confident in your body. It's not all about being skinny, just being confident.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So before ado is in any way furthered, we're just going to jump on into it.
In 2013, I decided to meet my enemies. I was a 27-year-old award-winning documentary filmmaker and a proud feminist. And I was determined to expose the dark underbelly of the men's rights movement. At that point, all I knew of the men's rights movement was from what I read online, that it's a misogynistic hate group actively working against women's equality. While the vast majority of my previous work was about women's issues, I directed documentaries about reproductive rights, single motherhood, and the need for more girls to get into STEM education. So when I learned that no one had ever documented the men's rights movement in a film before, I saw it as an opportunity to continue fighting for women's equality by exposing those preventing it. So for 1 year, I traveled North America, meeting the leaders and followers of the men's rights movement. I spent anywhere from 2 hours up to 8 hours interviewing each individual men's rights activist, also known as MRA. And I filmed 44 people total. And there's an important rule in documentary filmmaking. As an interviewer, you do not interrupt. So I'm asking questions, and I'm getting their full life story. And in the moment, I didn't realize it. But now looking back, I can see that while I was conducting my interviews, I wasn't actually listening. I was hearing them speak, and I knew the cameras were recording. But in those moments of sitting across from my enemy, I wasn't listening. What was I doing? I was anticipating. I was waiting to hear a sentence, or even just a couple of words in succession that proved what I wanted to believe, that I had found the misogynist.
So I want to pause on that part right there, because that's important as far as like what a lot of women tend to do, females, ladies, when they get into an argument, they will just not listen to what you're saying. Not just females, I guess guys will do it too, but it's more so females. They won't listen to what you're saying, but they're listening for something. They're waiting to strike. So waiting for you to say a certain word or a certain phrase that they can just hop in there and strike and kind of disregard everything else. So I think it's important that she was saying that she's being honest. She's not capping, but saying that when she was interviewing, she's
Go ahead.
yeah, that she was waiting to
Right.
she's waiting for that person to say something that she could counteract with instead of just listening to understand, which is very important in relationships. Listen to understand, not listen just so you can win and counteract.
Yeah,
Would
no,
you agree?
I totally agree. It's just listening and actually understanding and taking in what the other person is saying is two different things.
Yeah,
You can just walk away and just be like, okay,
yeah,
and not do anything about it.
exactly. Yeah, cool. That's your first one so far. How was that? Pretty painless?
Yeah, pretty painless. So
Okay.
far, so good.
Cool.
The ground zero of the war on women. A couple of times I thought I had it. There was one men's rights activist that said to me, just walk outside and look around. Everything you see was built by a man. Ooh, his statement felt anti-women. I felt my jaw clench, but I sat quietly, as a documentarian should, while removing all the space between my upper and lower molars. After my year of filming, I was reviewing the 100 hours of footage I had gathered, replaying and transcribing it, which, believe me when I say, no one will ever listen to you more than someone who transcribes your words. You should write that down.
Worst thing about being a woman is they're not funny at all.
So I was typing out every word meticulously, and through that process, I began to realize that my initial knee-jerk reactions to certain statements weren't really warranted, and my feeling offended didn't hold up to intense scrutiny. Was that statement about men having built the skyscrapers and the bridges anti-women? I thought, well, what would be the gender reverse scenario? Maybe a feminist saying, just look around. Everyone you see was birthed by a woman. Wow.
Now I'm pausing there because that is a talking point for a lot of women. You know, you say that without women we wouldn't have people, which is 100% true.
Right.
But they always seem to conveniently forget that without a man and his seed, that wouldn't be possible. So why even bring that up if you're going to forget the first part of it? It takes two in that instance for that to happen.
Right, but for that instance, and then later, all the 9 months, everything else is on the woman. So it's, if it wasn't for us, your 5 minutes, or let's wait,
What?
30 seconds. 30
Whoa!
seconds. What am I doing?
Pause. Just so they know, we have not done anything, so I am not 30 seconds or 5. Continue.
Yeah, no. In general, it usually lasts 30 seconds between 5 minutes, I
Who
would
you
say.
been with?
So, like, I'm just saying, realistically,
Is that average or that for you?
average. Let's be
Okay,
real.
it's like the world average.
Yes, the
Okay.
world average.
All right. I'm just checking.
Do you know a different number?
I don't know what the number is. I think it's actually somewhere between like 7 and 15 minutes, I think.
I don't believe that, but we'll have to go and like get facts and come
Yeah.
back to that.
We will. Okay.
But anyways, where was I headed? Oh yeah, so your 30 seconds don't contribute anything towards what it actually, like, what we put in
Wow.
as women.
That's the way to think about it. Yeah, I would agree in that sense. But typically, while a woman's pregnant, or at least would last 2 to 3 months, you get to come off of work. Basically, you have your work leave for I don't know how many months it is. But while you're doing that, if you're with your husband or boyfriend, he's still working. He's still providing for you. So he's still fulfilling his role, just like you are.
And that's in a perfect world, and but we all know that's not always going to be the case.
Right.
So that's probably what, like 20% of Americans that are happy go lucky family that have that dad.
True. And that's another topic we'll get into too a little bit later, hopefully. There's a lot of single moms out there nowadays. Now, there are certain situations where it can't be helped. The father passes away, just like happened with my brother. He passed away before his daughter was born.
Right.
But we're speaking more towards the men that are still alive, that aren't taking care of their kids. But the question then is, why aren't they taking care of their kids? Is it because they didn't want to have the kid? They're not responsible? Did the mother push them away?
I feel like that's a big topic, but I mean, that's a big question because it's so broad, because it's like so many reasons why. But it's, again, it doesn't matter why, because the mom technically doesn't, well, she doesn't have a choice, right? Unless she gives the child away.
Right.
Whether she wants it or why, the reason why she should raise a child or why she shouldn't be around the child, she doesn't really have a choice, because she's, at the end of the day, she's going to be with the child. She has to raise the child. If it's not for the father, it's going to be for the mother. But for the father, it should be the same thing. You shouldn't find reasons why you can't see a child. You should find reasons to see a child, and not, you know, you can't make excuses. That's all I'm saying.
You're 100% correct again. But like I said, it isn't a perfect world. And there's times where a father wants to see his child. Right. And the mother will not let him.
I don't know if like that. Yes. I mean, I'm from experience. I don't know that. I mean, well, no, I lied. But yes, I do, like, but there's nothing you can, like, I mean, that's too detailed of I feel like a conversation, too detailed.
It is.
To go in depth. But going back to this, like, the woman carries most of the burden of carrying a child, providing for the child, raising the child. Right. Making sure the child grows up as a normal human being.
But that's her biological responsibility.
Right. So that's why she says, without women, you wouldn't be here.
Agreed. But without men, you wouldn't have all.
Again, that goes back to 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds. Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to keep moving on.
You won't win.
I am not 30 seconds.
That's a powerful statement. And it's true. Is it anti-male? I don't think so. I think it's acknowledging our unique and valued contributions to our society. Yeah. Well, luckily, while I was making the Red Pill movie, I kept a video diary.
Oh, real quick. Do you know what red pill means?
No, I don't. I was trying to think what it is.
It's basically a term they got from the Matrix. Did you see the first Matrix?
No.
Really? Oh, shit.
I haven't seen The Matrix, and I always wanted to watch it, but then I was like, as years pass, you know how, like, you haven't gotten the chance. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. I'm just pausing the video.
Okay, cut this.
Now, The Matrix, Neo is presented with a red pill and a blue pill.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Blue pill means that you...
Oh, wait, yeah, what does it mean? Explain it, but yes, I remember kind of now.
So the blue pill means you just keep living the life you're living, and if your life is great within the Matrix, you're not going to wake up and, you know, learn about the actual real world and how the real world works. The red pill basically releases you from the Matrix, so you learn about the real world. So you're claiming your freedom, basically.
Oh, I see. So the red pill, okay.
When people refer to red pill, that's what they're talking about.
You're released into the world.
Yeah, you're coming to terms with all the realities of the world.
What's happened? Yeah. Okay, got it. I see.
Ended up tracking my evolving views, and in looking back on the 37 diaries I recorded that year, there was a common theme. I would often hear an innocent and valid point that a men's rights activist would make, but in my head, I would add on to their statement a sexist or anti-woman spin, assuming that's what they wanted to say but didn't. So here are two examples of how that would go. A men's rights activist, an MRA, would say to me, there are over 2,000 domestic violence shelters for women in the United States, but only one for men. Yet multiple reputable studies show that men are just as likely to be abused. I would hear them say, we don't need 2,000 shelters for women. They're all lying about being abused. It's all a scam. But in looking back on all the footage I'd gathered of men's rights activists talking about shelters, and all the blogs they've written and the video live streams they posted on YouTube, they're not trying to defund women's shelters, not at all. All they're saying is that men can be abused too, and they deserve care and compassion. Second example, a men's rights activist would say to me, where is justice for the man who was falsely accused of raping a woman? And because of this accusation, he loses his college scholarship and is branded with the inescapable title of rapist. I would hear them say, a woman being raped isn't a big deal. It's as if I didn't hear the word falsely accused of rape. All I heard was he was accused of rape. Of course, rape is a big deal, and all the men's rights activists I met agreed it is a horrible thing to have happened to anyone. I eventually realized what they're saying is they're trying to add to the gender equality discussion who is standing up for the good-hearted, honorable man that loses his scholarship, his job, or worse yet, his children, because he's accused of something he absolutely did not do.
Now, there was, I don't know if it was Dr. Phil or, I think it was Dr. Phil. There was an episode of Dr. Phil where a mother had told, I guess, the authorities that her husband had raped her children. Sorry, let's say grape. We can't say the R word on YouTube. So just use grape if you have to use it.
Okay.
And it basically ruined his life. And his kids didn't trust him. His kids didn't want to be around him. I forgot what the conclusion was as far as like how they figured it out, but like it was completely false. Mm-hmm. The mother made it up because she had a problem with the husband, and it, like I said, it destroyed his life. So I think it's important that, you know, when men are saying like, hey, you know, there's only one domestic abuse shelter for men, there should be more for men, because men get abused too, just like women do. A lot of times men don't speak out on it because we're men and we think we shouldn't, or we think people aren't going to take us seriously. There's also, even if you hit a guy, if you're at a bar or something like that, you hit a guy, that's assault. If you're just joking around, that's assault, because flip the script. If I'm at the bar, you don't know me, we're joking around, and I hit you, and you don't like it, that's assault, you know?
Yeah.
Another scenario, if you're at a bar and a guy you find attractive comes up and grabs your butt, you turn around and you probably giggle about it, probably. Same guy a different guy comes around, but he does exactly the same thing, but you find him not attractive, that's now creepy, and it's borderline assault as well, right?
Well, I don't agree with the first sentence, because if anybody randomly comes up and grabs my ass, it doesn't matter how good looking you are. I don't care. Don't do that. That's creepy and that's random and that's not attractive.
What if it was like your celebrity crush?
That's different.
Oh, so now, see, there you go.
if it's like if it's like Will Smith that comes up and is like, oh wow, hey girl.
So, but why is it?
I'm like, okay, celebrity. I don't know, because his hands are golden. I don't know, but Will Smith can do it. Anybody else? No.
Okay. But
You
you
know?
see how that's being...
But I'm just saying, like, the celebrity, you can't say that because, like, that's different. Like, but with men, I feel like if at a bar, that's not attractive to me at all.
Right.
I would turn around and be like...
I'm just trying to illustrate the point that the same act across the board should be considered the same act.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it is.
I definitely agree.
Well, I couldn't keep denying the points they were making. There are real issues. But in my effort to avoid agreeing with my enemy completely, I changed from putting words in their mouth to acknowledging the issue, but insisting they are women's issues. So here are two examples of how that would go. A men's rights activist would say to me, men are far more likely to lose their child in a custody battle. And I would counter, well, because women are unfairly expected to be the caretaker, it's discrimination against women that women get custody more often. Yeah. I'm not proud of that. Second example, an MRA would say to me, men are roughly 78% of all suicides throughout the world. And I would counter with, but women attempt suicide more often. So ha. Ha? It's not a contest, but I kept making it into one. Why couldn't I simply learn about men's issues and have compassion for male victims without jumping at the opportunity to insist that women are the real victims? Well, after years of researching and fact-checking what the men's rights activists were telling me, there is no denying that there are many human rights issues that uniquely or disproportionately affect men. Paternity fraud uniquely affects men. The United States Selective Service, in the case of a draft, still uniquely affects men. Workplace deaths, disproportionately men. War deaths, overwhelmingly men. Suicide, overwhelmingly men. Sentencing disparity, life expectancy, child custody, child support, false rape allegations, criminal court bias, misandry, failure to launch, boys falling behind in education, homelessness, veterans issues, infant male genital mutilation, lack of parental choice once a child is conceived, lack of resources for male victims of domestic violence. So many issues that are heartbreaking if you are the victim or you love someone who is the victim of any one of these issues. These are men's issues, and most people can't name one because they think, well, men have all the rights, they have all the power and privilege. But these issues deserve to be acknowledged. They deserve care, attention, and motivation for solutions. Before making the Red Pill movie, I was a feminist of about 10 years, and I thought I was well-versed on gender equality issues. But it wasn't until I met men's rights activists that I finally started to consider the other side of the gender equality equation. It doesn't mean I agreed with all that they said, but I saw the immense value in listening to them and trying to see the world through their eyes. I thought if I could get my audience to also listen to them, it could serve as a rung on the ladder, bringing us all up to a higher consciousness about gender equality. So in October 2016, the film was released in theaters, and articles and critic reviews started to roll in. And that's when I experienced how engaged the media is in groupthink around gender politics. And I learned a difficult lesson. When you start to humanize your enemy, you, in turn, may be dehumanized by your community. And that's what happened to me.
So that's where we're going to stop the video for tonight. Indra, do you have any thoughts on what you've seen, heard tonight as far as this video goes?
I mean, the biggest thing, like what she was saying at the end, I think is important because me recently going through something as far as a death and a guy taking his life because of, you know, personal reasons, but he had all these friends. But I think that my sister and I were talking about it, and we were like, well, did he actually like spoke about his feelings to his friends? Were they actually sitting down and listening what he was going through to be aware of what he's going through and maybe be able to stop it, not stop it, but like help him?
Right.
And I think she was making a good point. It's like men are going through a lot of things and we're like suppressing, like obviously it's important to have women rights and us being having equality. That's number one. Right. But like I think we are forgetting about men and that they have emotions, and that's the biggest thing. It's like making sure that you're still humane. We see you, but I totally agree. It's kind of like touchy subjects that need attention and that I feel like have kind of been forgotten.
Right. Yeah. I think that was well said. I think I'm starting to get to you a little bit with the videos. Yeah. But I think a lot of people, they don't think about this. They don't think about men's issues. I mean, and I'm not saying it's to complain at all, but it's like there's a lot of the list that she listed off as far as like the disparages. I don't know. Disparages. I'll have to look it up.
Don't ask me.
But there's a lot out there for men, and
for sure.
And if you were to ask any person on the street, like, name something that isn't in the favor of a man, you know, they have no idea.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's because it's not like, it's like hush hush. Men are not supposed to like have all these feelings and, you know, talk about it and
Right.
say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We're
touchy subject.
Yeah, we're kind of taught to just kind of keep it to ourselves.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And it's not always tough to talk. I mean, to even like let people in, you know, about your personal space, especially when you're dating someone. This is like I wouldn't even call it a theory. I think I've experienced it too. But like, women want you to be open and vulnerable with them, and it seems like when you do that with a woman, at some point down the line, or even like when you start being open, the way she views you and thinks of you typically drops. She now doesn't see you as the strong guy you were, the protector, the provider, because you've now shown a chink in your armor, basically.
I don't know if I agree with that.
It does happen.
But
a
I feel
lot.
like maybe like it sounds like you're salty.
No, I'm not salty. I'm just saying it happens a lot, and that's why I think it's another reason why a lot of guys will not open up to the ladies that they're with, the girls they're dating.
Maybe. I mean, I can see that happening. I can see that, but I feel like, to me, it's like if you open up, that makes you stronger because like kudos to you, you know, like you're actually like talking about something that's important. That's probably gonna help you in the long run anyway. So.
But that's if you're with someone who understands that, though, who's
Right.
done the work already.
Right.
Someone who has done the work, then they look at you as you're weak. You know, you're no
Right.
longer.
So maybe do the work first and then spill your guts.
Well, maybe. But Andrea, I think it's gonna wrap it up for us.
Okay.
But that's our first video. We got a few more coming out. Don't forget, Andrea's gonna be starting her own YouTube channel here soon. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
She's gonna be. Oh, go ahead.
But for now, follow me on Instagram.
That's right. Follow. It'll be down here.
Yes.
And also, she's gonna be moving out to Vegas too, so look out for that. So anyone who's in Vegas, it's complicated. Look out for Indre, and yeah, that's all we got for you tonight. So
All right. It was nice to talk to you.
that's
I
it.
guess. Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, you can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't has no chill. I'm who I are, I'm who I is. Taylor Suits and I play the part. Fuck a fire, how you mesmerize. Black Austin pies, man, that I'm stupid. Then again, oh so clever. On my loony, pull that lever. Talk my shit, I'm talking hella flow, baby. You